The KXAN News Podcast is sponsored by Shelf Genie.
Demanding answers tonight, the protest in Hays County over the shooting death of an inmate, and an overnight fire that broke out at an Austin area school. The damage left to the campus coming up.
And after a seasonable Sunday, we've got near freezing lows tonight ahead of a soaking wet Tuesday.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Rush. Tragedy in Los Angeles County, California, after a gunman opened fire at a Lunar New Year celebration. Officials with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department say at least 10 people were killed and at least 10 others injured in Monterey Park. Authorities confirm a man fled the scene and remains at large. Those who were injured have been taken to area hospitals with critical to stable injuries.
We will not forget the victims and survivors, and it's important because you can just imagine the trauma that they've experienced, and it's our responsibility to wrap our arms around them.
SWAT teams did surround a white van more than half an hour southwest in Torrance. Authorities breached that van, with the LA Times reporting that a man was found slumped over in the driver's seat. It was thought that this van may be connected to the shooting. Authorities are holding a news conference and updating the community. We will let you know what they say when we find out. Well, inspired by another mass shooting, Austin area paramedics and firefighters trained members of the community today on how to save lives in case of an emergency. The first responders held a Stop the Bleed event at a place called the Little Gay Shop in East Austin. They decided to do it after the mass shooting in November at Club Q, an LGBTQ+ club in Colorado Springs. Paramedics and firefighters train people how to contain bleeding until responders arrive. The emergency responders plan to have more training sessions in areas that could be vulnerable to shootings, like the downtown entertainment district. A man was killed late last night after a shooting in downtown Austin. This happened at the Shell gas station on Martin Luther King Boulevard. Police found a man in a car with gunshot wounds. They say they tried to save him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators do not know what led to the shooting or, at this point, who did it. People gathered outside the Hays County Sheriff's Office today demanding action after the shooting death of a man in custody. Joshua Wright was killed in December by a Hays County corrections officer. The Sheriff's Office says it happened after he tried to escape at the hospital. KXAN's Sarah Alshay was at the protest. She has more on what they're demanding.
Dozens of people spoke today here at the Hays County Public Safety meeting, getting emotional as they remembered Joshua Wright. Now, they're asking for three things. One, for the Hays County Sheriff's Office to release the body cam video. Two, to remove the corrections officer who shot and killed Wright. And three, for Hays County Sheriff Gary Cutler to resign. Now, it's been more than a month since Wright's death. He was a Hays County inmate receiving medical treatment at Ascension Seton in Kyle. The Hays County Sheriff's Office says he assaulted a corrections officer before trying to escape the emergency room on foot. Wright's family says they want to see the video proof of that. Since that day, his family has met with a nationally known civil rights attorney. They packed a commissioner's court meeting demanding the county do more, and now this protest here. For the first time, we heard from his daughter.
He was a good person. He was a good dad. Even if he had nothing, he'll still try. He would still try to give you things. Even if he had nothing, even if he didn't have a roof over his head, he would still try.
We reached out to the Sheriff's Office today for a response, and they said they would not be providing a comment on this protest. Now, previously, they have said this is an ongoing investigation and that there's no timeline to release any of the video, but protesters tell me they'll continue organizing rallies until their demands are met. Reporting here in San Marcos, Sarah Alshay, KXAN News.
A fire broke out early this morning at Travis Early College High School in South Austin. Austin Fire responded just before 5 this morning and said the damage was limited to the exterior roof and HVAC systems. The fire was contained to the athletics building roof, which is separate from the main campus building. Austin Fire says the cause of the fire was electrical, and the Travis Early College High School principal says classes will not be affected tomorrow morning. A small plane crashed while making an emergency landing in Harris County this morning. The crash happened around 11:30 when the plane clipped an 18-wheeler as it landed on Grand Parkway just outside of Houston. Neither the pilot nor the driver of the 18-wheeler was seriously hurt.
First warning weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon.
A beautiful day here today. Sure, it was a little chilly and breezy, but sunshine and 60 right now. from Southeast Austin from our Whittlesey Landscape Supplies camera. Feeling much more like it should this time of year, right? Most of us are not actually in the 60s. We've got a lot of 50s out there already, middle and upper 50s for most of the hill country, some low 60s in our eastern counties, and it's still a little bit breezy. Winds generally between about 5 and 15 miles per hour coming out of the northwest. The wind should back off though tonight. Clouds and radar is clear, and it's going to stay generally pretty clear here tonight, allowing the temperatures to drop. Low 50s by 7, 40s already by 9, and mid 40s here at 11 o'clock as we head for widespread 30s to begin the day tomorrow. We've got a cooler week ahead. We'll show you that, as well as the specifics on Tuesday's rain and storms and the possibility for more rain next weekend.
All right, Nick, thanks. See you in a bit. A new medical study looks at the dangers of sitting too much, as well as the small changes that we can make to move more and improve our health. Savannah Sellers has details.
The next time you're about to send your coworker an email, think about taking a walk over to their desk instead. That simple movement might actually be good for your health. A new study published in the Journal of the American College of Sports Medicine found a short stroll at work every half hour could help with the harm that comes with prolonged periods of sitting.
We had participants come to our lab and sit in our lab for 8 hours. Each day they came, we tried a couple of different walking strategies to see what worked best in terms of offsetting the harms of sitting. So we found that a 5-minute walk every half hour reduced blood sugar levels by over 60%, and it also reduced blood pressure. We also found that a 1-minute walk every hour also reduced blood pressure.
Not moving around comes with health risks, even to people who regularly exercise. We're talking increased stress to the back, neck, arms, and legs. For those who hunch, that can overstretch the spinal ligaments and strain the spinal discs. It can also have some serious long-term dangers, things like a higher risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, even early death. And even if you have a standing desk, that might not be enough, since being in one position all day isn't good. So the key here is to move as often as you can, because if your daily activities are short and intense enough, they can improve your health. Take this second study published in Nature Medicine that found even small snippets of exercise, like dashing up the stairs or weaving between commuters, adds up. Those who engaged in 1 or 2-minute bursts of exercise 3 times a day saw a nearly 50% reduction in cardiovascular mortality risk. Researchers also saw around a 40% reduction in the risk of dying from cancer and all causes of mortality. So next time you're sitting for a while, remember, the human body is built to move. So get going.
That was Savannah Sellers reporting. And speaking of getting moving, the 3M Half Marathon happened this morning in Austin. The 13.1 mile course began that's right, began on Stone Lake Boulevard near Burnett Road and ended at the Texas State Capitol downtown. It was a battle at the finish line for Joseph Gray and Mitch Amons, with Gray finishing just 0.4 seconds before Amons. On the women's side, Allie Kiefer finished first with a time of 1 hour and 16 minutes. They are the world's tiniest drivers. How one professor taught rats to drive miniature cars. And we are less than half an hour until kickoff as the Dallas Cowboys take on the San Francisco 49ers with a trip to the NFC Championship on the line. KXAN Sports has the playoff preps still to come. A professor at the University of Richmond has managed to teach rats how to drive miniature vehicles. The rats appeared last week on a documentary called Rat City. Sierra Krug sat down with the professor, who discussed how the rodents ended up behind the wheel.
Getting the show on the road. University of Richmond's famous driving rats, featured last year in a Netflix documentary titled Hidden Lives of Pets, already making another on-screen cameo. Research leader and professor Kelly Lambert is no backseat driver.
Once you start thinking about if you could teach a rat to drive a car, it's hard to get that out of your mind.
This research has been going on for years, but there's still more to unlock.
It kind of opens up this childlike curiosity about animals, kind of like seeing pigs fly.
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation's documentary Rat City, in part, explores how these tiny critters pick up survival skills in urban environments.
Rats, they're the true superstars, and the theme of the latest The Rat City is their superhero kind of qualities, climbing, scaling walls, and sniffing, and and driving.
And now communicating with people.
A lot of people ask if I know they like it. I can't just ask them that.
Pedal to the metal. New research, learning to gauge rats' responses through ultrasonic vocalizations.
So they can kind of tell us if they're enjoying this based on the type of vocalizations that they're emitting.
More than a circus trick. Lambert and her students can use their research to foster an even greater understanding of neuroplasticity, even expanding to teach us more about our own minds.
It is a very good model to start with when we're trying to unlock some of the secrets of the human brain.
And I hear 2 of the rats have already gotten speeding tickets. No, they haven't. Made that up. Well, Boston Dynamics, an organization that creates humanoid robots, released a new video showing off the Atlas robot's locomotion and sensing capabilities. Take a look at this. This man simulating working on a scaffold prompts the Atlas to look around for his tools. It then builds a path using pieces of wood and then tosses the tools to the man. The purpose of this particular experiment is to add new actions to the robot's wheelhouse and get its performance up to human levels of speed and capacity. That's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, can already lift a little more than you there, Mike.
That's not hard to do, Nick.
Pollen count medium for cedar and mold today and trending lower than yesterday. Temperatures a little lower than average today, too, at 62. We've got some even chillier air on the way, plus all eyes on a soaking Tuesday in First Warning Weather.
This KXAN News podcast is brought to you by Shelf Genie. I'm Rosie Newberry from KXAN Studio 512. Considering replacing your kitchen cabinets? Struggling to find or reach things? Go to shelfgenie.com/Austin. Shelf Genie designs custom pull-out shelves for your existing cabinets, adding convenience and value to the most used room in your home. Shelf Genie custom pull-out shelves, everything in reach.
First Warning Weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Reasonably pleasant day out there for us today. Despite the cold start, we got plenty of sunshine out of it. And we're at 59 in Buda from our rock and dirt yard camera there. And temperatures are actually going to fall rather quickly this evening as the breeze settles down. Low 50s and upper 40s here at 7. Then it's 40s turning into widespread 30s to begin your Monday morning. Wouldn't be surprised if we have a widespread freeze, but not in Austin tomorrow. So you'll be very near, if not into, the freezing territory in the hill country and even in our eastern counties, middle and low 30s for you. But getting down to just about 35 in Austin tonight, we expect, before temperatures rebound again. So we'll go with 35 for the low in Austin with a clear and cold night. A freeze expected away from Austin here tonight. So these are the temperatures you want to bundle both yourself and your kids at the bus stop for tomorrow morning, as it will be a cold start to the day. We rebound, though, to 62, which is just slightly below average, but it's exactly where we were here today. So after the cold start, sunshine and some scattered clouds give us a reasonably nice afternoon. Then we're going to be focusing our attention on our Tuesday night storm. This is where it is now. This low is actually going to be heading south and then east and working into central Texas as we get into late Monday night, but more likely Tuesday morning. Let me time out the changes for you. Through Monday morning, clear skies. Monday afternoon into the evening, some scattered clouds start to work in, but we stay dry during the day here on Monday. Then the clouds thicken up. It's not until after midnight, if not the first few hours of Tuesday morning, that we start to see the rain arriving. Light at first, but then as we head later into the morning, waves of showers, downpours, and storms start to develop. This is 9:30 on Tuesday. The yellows and oranges indicating the potential for thunderstorms, as well as some heavy rain. Same through the middle of the day, waves of heavy rain at times that continue through at least the early afternoon. But we expect by late afternoon, the showers, downpours, and storms pull away, and then we're back to being dry again for the rest of the work week. How much rain are we thinking? Well, this is all good news. The rainfall expectations continue to rise. If there's bad news out of this, we expect the lower rainfall amounts in the hill country where we need the most rain. But 1/2 inch to 1 inch for the hill country. Metro and our eastern counties, 1 to 2 inches. And of course, there's always going to be some isolated amounts that get higher than that, depending on where some of our stronger thunderstorms develop. A flash flood threat for Tuesday along I-35 and to the east, a 1 out of 4 risk there. Otherwise, from a severe weather perspective, lower concern for that now, just a general thunderstorm risk. The severe weather risk starts to go up east of the KXAN viewing area. So our primary concern here for Tuesday is going to be some gusty winds that are low risk that they could cause us some problems and some potentially isolated flash flooding. Beyond Tuesday, we wait until the weekend for our next round of wet weather. Those rain chances are fairly low this far out for Saturday and Sunday, but put it on your radar as you're making next weekend's plans. So look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. There's your rainy, windy, chilly Tuesday, high of 56. Still breezy Wednesday, sun and clouds 57 with nighttime lows in the 30s for 3 nights in a row. Temperatures climb back into the 60s for Friday, and we're watching the rain chances for Saturday and Sunday.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
The Dallas Cowboys are just a few minutes away from playing their 9th playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers, a longtime rival. The 49ers also happen to be the hottest team in the league as they are winners of 11 in a row. This is the 2nd straight year these two will meet in the playoffs, with the Cowboys hoping to rectify last year's regrettable finish to the 49ers. And this year, the Niners are even better with all kinds of offensive and defensive weapons and a rookie quarterback who is playing out of his mind, and of course Deebo Samuel. Now Dallas has plenty of talent too, and they played a mistake-free game against Tampa Bay last week. However, they find themselves the underdog in this one, a position in which Micah Parsons thinks is A-okay.
When no one believes in you, that's the best feeling. Like, not when everyone believes you and that Kool-Aid's up and everyone's smiling and they're like, they can't lose, they're too good. You don't want that feeling, because then it's like, what if I don't win? When you're already at the bottom, you can only go up, you know? So I really like to be an underdog and that feeling. It's a great story always to tell.
We know we need to get in there and, get going immediately because this is a team that's played extremely well throughout the last, 12 weeks. So that's where our mindset is.
As I mentioned, these teams have played 8 times in the playoffs. The Cowboys actually have the advantage 5-3. 6 of the previous 8 games, though, have been decided by 10 points or less. So we could be in for a doozy. And we could not be. Kickoff is set for 5:30. AFC divisional round, Cincinnati Bengals versus Buffalo Bills. Damar Hamlin in attendance for this one. Snowy day in Buffalo, or in Orchard Park, I should say specifically. First quarter, no score. Joe Burrow dropping back, scooting ahead, finding somebody. That's Jamar Chase. Not a bad one to find. Touchdown. Bengals strike first. 7-0. Later on in the first, Burrow to Hayden Hurst. Touchdown right open right there. That was from 15 yards out. 14-0 Bengals. But here comes the Bills. Josh Allen sneaks in there for the touchdown to put them on the board. But Buffalo just couldn't really get anything going. Joe Mixon's touchdown run right here would put them up 24-10. Mixon with 105 yards on 20 carries. Bengals dismantled the Bills 27-10 to advance to the AFC Championship game. They'll face the Kansas City Chiefs next week in a rematch of last year's AFC title game matchup. College basketball, the Longhorns survived a gritty game in Morgantown to stay in the hunt for first place in the Big 12. More from their win over West Virginia when sports continues after this. Winning on the road, as they say, is difficult anywhere, but there's something about the trip to Morgantown that makes things especially difficult for teams, as only 2 were successful on the Mountaineers' home court before Saturday. Texas made that 3 afterwards. Marcus Carr and company surged late in the second half to secure the victory. Carr had a big second half to score 23 points. He also had 3 rebounds. Now, Texas prides itself on the play on the defensive end of the floor. And the Longhorns were able to prevent the Mountaineers from any late surges in order to secure the win. Interim head coach Rodney Terry, as you can expect, was certainly pleased with the effort.
Coming off a big win this past week against a really good TCU team, we knew that they're gonna be ready to play. We're going to come out and bring our best game tonight in terms of how hard we were going to try to compete and have an incredible competitive spirit. This wasn't going to be easy. We knew that. We were going to have to work this game for 40 minutes. I thought our guys, this was a really good team win.
The UT women are in action right now against Baylor in Waco. Last check of the score, Texas up 49-39. Texas had a great start to the second half. They're leading the 24th ranked Bears right there by 10 at last check of the score. So the UT women's team, they're trying to bounce back from a loss to Texas Tech. So this would be a big win for them if they can hold on for this next quarter.
Meanwhile, talking about big wins, let's just hope that the Cowboys can break that winning streak that the 49ers have going.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a tough task, let me tell you, Mike, because like I said, the Niners are red hot right now, and they've got all kinds of talent, all kinds of weapons, and that's the thing about this time of year. You need a team to be hot, you know what I mean, and you need a team to be talented.
For sure.
You can go as far as possible.
We'll see what happens. All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate you watching this evening. Hope to see you back here tonight at 10. Have a great night.
See ya.